Hello, thanks for being here. I'm Jose, founder of BrandVirality. And today I want to explain how visibility actually works in today's market, why many strong products struggle to grow, and how BrandVirality approaches this problem differently. This is not a pitch. It's simply an explanation of how the game has changed. Now, let's begin. A company can have a great product, a strong team, a serious technology, and still fail to grow. Not because the product isn't great, but because it isn't seen. And this means that visibility is just no longer optional. Growth slows down and often it stops completely. Now, the thing is that visibility today is no longer about creativity alone. It's a mathematical thing. It's a volume, frequency, formats, channels, trust signals, all working together. Modern platforms, especially AI-driven systems, don't reward effort. They reward structure, repetition, consistency, and this is where most of the teams hit a wall. No small team can produce enough content across enough formats on enough platforms every single day without burning out. This isn't a motivation problem. It's a structural one. Now, before showing you the framework of how brand virality works, it's important to explain in the first place why it exists. We come from a technical side. We have launched multiple products ourselves, like most of the startups. We did what we were supposed to do, of course, which was hiring the marketing agencies, run paid campaigns. We tried content, PR, growth experiments, and the pattern basically was always the same. We had high spend, low control, no real sense of compounding momentum. Paid acquisition, for example, turned into just bidding wars against companies with unlimited budgets, and the organic efforts never produced enough volume to build real authority. Then, as AI adoption became mainstream, something became very clear, and it's that visibility is no longer a creative problem. It's a systems problem. So the brands that win today are not the ones with the best campaigns. They are the ones with the best infrastructure. And that realization is what led us to stop executing isolated tactics and instead design a system that works every single day. And that system is brand virality. This is the brand virality framework. We don't work with isolated campaigns. We work with systems. At the foundation, there are 4 pillars. We have the omnipresence creation, brand reputation building, demand generation, and zero effort execution. Omnipresence means showing up consistently, not just occasionally. Reputation builds public trust through external signals. And demand generation turns visibility into real intent. Now, finally, zero effort execution means removing the friction of running all these systems so that we can do the heavy lifting for you and you can focus into the most important things in your business. Now, on top of these pillars sit 7 growth loops. Each loop reinforces the others. So as you see, we have paid acquisition, SEO and authority, we have PR and media trust, UGC influencer, outreach and demand, distribution and retention. It is important to mention here that each specific loop that we have, basically it's composed by a set of tactics. We have a lot of different tactics that we can choose. For example, if you go to the SEO, this is just an example of the different tactics that we could use. And of course, we choose the ones that fit your brand the most in the current situation that you might have. That's why we do a full marketing analysis with our team to optimize these tactics to ensure that they will deliver results. Now we have the KPI, and this is what will give us this feedback to know whether the tactic is working or if it needs an adjustment or if we just drop it and change to a different one. The whole point here is that we set up the loop to grow with the tactics working constantly so that we are always in running this loop for your business so that you basically are dominating in each single growth loop that we have in here. That the whole thing is that the system should run continuously while the team really focus on product things, customer strategy, and so on, right? So in a different time, I could go over each of these, explaining what it is with more details, but to make a presentation a little bit quicker and faster, let's move ahead. What is the result of basically having these growth loops activated and working efficiently is that we have 5 outcomes that are pretty obvious, but it's very good to mention them as well. And one is, of course, you will gain visibility, you will gain authority, also demand, trust, and more importantly as well, retention. Now, common slow growth patterns in early stage AI consumer apps. These are the patterns that we consistently see in early stage AI consumer products. First one basically is that the authority is still light. Then trust signals are just forming. Visibility depends on 1 or 2 channels only. And of course, the system aren't just fully built yet to start doing retention. This is completely normal, and what matters here is recognizing these patterns early and building the right infrastructure before the competitors do. Because once platforms and AI learns brand, catching up becomes much, much harder. Here is a real example about my Serenify AI-powered meditation app. So by activating basically the BrandVirality system, they significantly increased visibility. They generated hundreds of organic users. They began appearing, for example, in the ChatGPT recommendations. Also, they appear on the first Google search result page for key terms. And of course, this wasn't luck. It wasn't a campaign. It was the system working every day and compounding over time. This is what makes BrandVirality different from traditional marketing. Marketing agencies optimize for delivery. We usually just optimize for infrastructure. Agencies will sell activity. We build systems that compound. In an AI-first market, the real risk isn't slow growth. The real risk is invisibility. BrandVirality exists to make sure that doesn't happen to your brand. So I want to thank you for being here and to like the presentation. Goodbye.